quite light, can't you? What the hell is she going to do? Morning, everybody. Last time I did my 10 minutes, I did a demo on Charlie, so you kind of got an idea of what I do from the outside. And also I've given you a bit of history, so you kind of know a bit, hopefully you remember a little bit about the history of craniosacral therapy. So today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. There's two questions that arise frequently in my work. One is craniosacral therapy the same as Reiki? And the other one is, what are you feeling when you put your hands on me? Well, the answer to the first question, no, it's not the same as Reiki. A Reiki practitioner places their hands on the patient's body or away from the patient's body, and they channel universal energy through themselves and into the patient's energy field. A craniosacral therapist is actually trained to listen to the patient's body with their hands, sensing many things, including fluid flow, movement of the bones, and monitoring of the central nervous system. Craniosacral therapy works with the patient's body, facilitating stronger flow, muscle and tissue tension release, and again calming of the central nervous system. The answer to the second question, what am I feeling when I put my hands on you, is a little more difficult to explain. I can say lots of words. I can say things like tingling, releasing, pulling, heaviness, lightness, expansion, heat, cold, etc. Lots and lots and lots of words to explain. But I thought I'd bring in a few props, because we all like props, don't we? To try and demonstrate the sensations that I'm actually picking up with my hands when I put my hands on you. So, we're going to begin with a bowl of water and some corks. When we're trained as craniosacral therapists, it's very gentle therapy. So we don't dive in and we're not manipulating. So we're taught that our touch should be as gentle as if we're placing our fingers on corks floating on water. So this is quite often why people think I haven't actually got my hands on them, because their touch is so gentle. But that's kind of what we're aiming for. And this is kind of what I feel sometimes when I put my hands on people's heads.
Corks?
Corks, yes.
Wood.
So, people come in to me. They may have had a bad day. They may have had a bad week. They may have had a bad life, let's face it. So quite often they're stressed, they're tired, they're overworked, and it feels as if they're kind of floating away. So I get them to lay down on the couch and start to bring them back down. Very, very gently. Get them to rest, back down to the couch and relax. Am I boring you? Just sending you off to sleep. So I've brought them back down onto the couch. I'm placing my hands on their body, generally on their head, down their spine, or anywhere else. Particularly if there's tension around the shoulders, that tends to be quite a place where I tend to work quite a lot. So I'm placing my hands on that area, and I'm feeling tension. It feels a bit like that. Sometimes actually it feels a lot worse than that. That's kind of what we can feel when we place our hands on an area of tension. So gradually, as I'm working with my hands, working with the patient's body, that tension starts to release and let go. Sometimes it's quite quick, sometimes it can take a whole session, sometimes it can take several sessions, particularly if it's tension that's built up over a lifetime. Gradually that tension releases and the area relaxes, the congestion moves. When I'm working at the head, I was talking about expansion and contraction. All the bones, as far as I'm detecting, are moving in the body all the time. So there's a flow up and down, there's an expansion and there's a contraction. So it's obviously this is, you know, a bit exaggerated, but as I'm feeling the expansion, so it's like a balloon blowing up. And obviously as there's a contraction, it's like the balloon going down. So that's the kind of sensation I can get when I'm working on someone's head. Obviously not to that extent, because they just disappear. So we've got them relaxed down on the table. As they start to really relax, it feels a bit like sometimes that there is a doorstop on my hand, which is good. That's kind of, we're getting them down now, we're getting them down to a relaxed state, heavy on my hand. Sometimes I get sensations, sometimes it is a bit crunchy when I'm working with a patient. Sometimes I can feel kind of something stuck. So as they're laying down, they're relaxing on my hands, so they start to come into a place where their bodies are able to start releasing tension. As the tension and the congestion start to resolve, again, lots of different sensations, cold, heat, sometimes almost like a feeling of something moving away from the body. Sometimes there's a slight effervescence, like a tingling, like a pins and needles. Sometimes it feels a bit like an Alka-Seltzer bubbling in water, particularly if I'm working closely with their fluid system. So we've started to release, I've started to get the sensations, things are relaxing, tension's releasing from the body, particularly if it's trauma. So we're coming to the end of the session, nice and relaxed, nice and calm. So by the time we arrive at this place, and as my daughter said, what, like a fat furry horse that's won first prize, Mum? No. Relaxed. Completely let go. Obviously we don't always get this first, second, third session sometimes, particularly if someone's carrying a whole lifetime tension. But that's what we're aiming for. That's kind of the sensation. Generally, I don't want to get up, I don't want to go anywhere. So that's what we're aiming for. So by the end of the session, we're relaxed, we've released lots of tension. And the general idea is that we've found a place of balance, because that's what we're looking for. So these are just a few of the sensations. I could go on for hours. All the sensations that I get from, so hopefully that's helped demonstrate in the physical, if you like, the sensations I'm getting through my hands. Obviously a lot of the patients feel this as well, so it's combined. So it's quite good as I'm getting sensations for them to feed back and for me to feed to them, so that we can actually say that we're working on the same page. But not everybody feels anything, but equally they get the same benefit. So that's the demonstration. Any questions?
Sharon, you didn't say anything about injuries. Could you help me on that front?
Yeah, injuries, I mean that's kind of where we're working from the tension really, because any injury we're holding in our body is held as a tension. So once the tension starts to release, then obviously the injury, the pain and discomfort starts to release as well. Any other questions?
Is it sort of any particular illnesses, like mild illnesses, that it's well, or conditions it's known for kind of helping with, not necessarily curing, but helping?
Headaches, migraines, that kind of thing, it's well known for that, because it does work really well with releasing the neck muscle, which is a lot where people hold their tension. But for any kind of congestion, which is basically when we hold tension in our body, and congestion from injury or from just bad posture, overuse, repetitive strain, anything like that, it's really good because we're working with the body to actually get it to a place of release. So, do you have one, Leslie?
Is it suitable for all ages?
It is suitable for all ages, yeah. Particularly young, babies are really wonderful, I'm always talking about babies, and old people that are really kind of quite delicate and can't actually take the manipulation. So it's really good for old people because I can actually work in chairs and that kind of thing, so they don't have to lay down on the couch. I can work around on chairs, which I quite often do with older people if they're unable to lay down. So yeah, so particularly good for those ages, but anything in between because let's face it, we all need to kind of find that place of relaxation, even if we haven't got any aches and pains. So, so yeah, it's good for all ages.
Do you go out to older people?
I will go out to
Travel?
older people. Yeah, if they're in sort of in the area, really, yes, I will go out, because obviously if they're disabled, I can go out. Yes.
Last question?
I thought that was a great representation actually, and I was wondering how long it took you to feel confident enough to do your first booking from when you started training, because it must have taken a long time.
Well, I had to do 150 practice patients when I was training, so that kind of got me into the swing of it, and actually how to work with patients. So yeah, so the 150, you know, I can imagine there's quite a few people to pass through my hands. So yeah, so by the time I arrived at actually being qualified, I was quite confident. Yeah, so I've got leaflets here, so if anybody wants a bit more info, or you can come and ask me any questions later. Thank you.